Welcome back, everybody. Our next guest is the founder of Women of Concern Professionals. She joins us to share more about their upcoming walks to stop the silence of domestic violence. Welcome Loretta Green-Williams to the show.
Hi, how are you, dear?
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sound like a broadcaster, right?
Well, I do have a blog talk radio show, so that's another story. Yes.
Tell us about it.
Well, it's
you
called
talk
Sumatra.
about what you do?
Well, it's called Sumatra Blog Talk Radio, and our tags is we help a sister out. So we talk about everything.
Help a sister out.
We help a sister out.
And now you can help a brother out.
I'm
by
gonna help a brother
helping
out.
to create the awareness right here as to what's happening with
Exactly.
domestic violence.
Yeah. So our walk started in 2012, and it's called Walking in Silence for the Silence, Domestic Violence Solidarity
Yes.
Walk. And the reason why we started is, number one, is as coordinator, I lost my daughter to domestic violence April 20th, 2011.
Yes.
And that was an extremely traumatic situation that I went through, and I brought it to our organization. And what we did is we determined that this would be a part of our national initiative addressing domestic violence. And so the organization, Women of Concern Professionals and Strategic Conscious Networking, what we do is we go into communities and we deal with the economic relationships within the community. And one of them is the aspects of domestic violence and how it affects communities. For example, 8,000 hours is taken from a business around the country because women have to be removed from work because of domestic violence. So there's an economic relationship that not only happens to a family, but happens to a community. And that's how the walk evolved. So the interesting thing about this walk is different from other walks is it's not a collective walk, it's a community walk. So the walks take place within the community.
Where's this walk, this particular walk?
There's a walk in Prospect Park in Brooklyn. There'll be a walk at the Marcus Garvey.
Same day? What day?
Same day, same time, November 5th at 8 a.m. And the solidarity comes from the silence and that the walk is done at the same day, same time around the world.
Ah, gotcha.
And that's where the solidarity comes from. Now, the purpose for doing within a community, because domestic violence is different in every community. So therefore, we want you to develop the walk in your framework. Now, for instance, in Cincinnati, the walk, it's based around domestic violence in youth. And so they have it at a community center. And once they complete the walk, they have guest speakers come in and talk about domestic violence in youth. We have a major walk that started with us, and we're really excited, UCLA, at Drake Stadium. And what's happening this year is we're having some artists coming with them there.
Tell us, what defines domestic violence? Because sometimes people are in it and they don't know that it's domestic violence.
Exactly. So domestic violence is anything that's coercive or physical. So removing or eliminating income from an individual, holding back income, that's a component of domestic violence because it stops their mobility, their inability
Who's
to act.
holding back that income?
Could be the domestic partner, it could be the husband, but someone that's removing you from an economic relationship. It could be psychological and verbal, the verbal abuse. That would affect someone. So it's not always the physical. But the difference from this is that we're looking at community domestic violence. If I cannot walk down my community and feel safe, and that's my domicity, there's a problem.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of people who want to come out and say, hey, you know, I have a problem.
Exactly.
But, you know, there's that stigma, and there's maybe the husband or the wife doesn't want to leave because they're afraid. How do you get over that?
Well, this is the thing with the walk is a solidarity walk. You might know someone who's in it and can't come out of it, but you can let them know I'm walking for you. That might give them the encouragement to do something about it. Now, there's an 800 number that you can communicate with, but a lot of times with those 800 numbers, it'll give you information, or you have to be actively engaged in the domestic violence before you can remove yourself. But communities are there to help. And the thing with this is to try to galvanize enough knowledge that those that are in it understand what it is to come out of it.
So you come out and walk, and you may interact with some people who are
exactly that are in it.
Well,
When I walk every year, I have the picture of my daughter. And it's still as painful as it happened in 2001. I still feel that
Something
pain.
happened to your daughter that made you want to get
She was
involved in
killed.
this?
She was killed by her boyfriend.
Yes.
Shot in the heart. Okay, so I didn't want this burden, but it's my God-given burden, and I have to follow through. So I have a very dear friend and a person that's a part of WOCP who is a big executive with this major corporation. She told me how she was in domestic violence for 10 years with her husband.
Wow.
But because she was a CEO, she couldn't address that. She felt there was a space that she needed to be in as a wife.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of people out there who cannot or will not cross that line and say, I'm going to do something about this, but they're being beaten, either physically or mentally.
Number one,
psychologically.
Exactly, psychologically. Number one, I would suggest that just try to let the person know that you're there for them. Sometimes you cannot intercede or intervene.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can be dangerous for you to do that. But let them know that you're there, you know. And this is what this walk is about, letting them know we're there. We hear you because we're walking in what you're losing.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you lose? Your voice. And when you're dead, your voice is definitely gone, as in the case of my daughter.
Well, what would you tell somebody who's dealing with domestic violence, well, whether it be man or woman?
Exactly, because the number one population right now is men, and the LGBT population. 53% of them are being affected, and most of them are people of color. I would suggest get the help that you need. And
I thought you were going to say get the hell out.
Well, that too.
Yeah,
of course. But get the help that you need, because sometimes it's a strategy.
You can't just, right.
You know, some people just can't walk out if you have children. If you're dependent on that person economically, sometimes it's difficult just to walk out.
Yes.
So you definitely get the help that you need, and then find someone you can talk to. You know, find somebody that is, you know, your community. You have your faith community. You have local organizations. Find someone. Just find them and talk to them.
And talk to them. I know it still hurts you. It
Yes,
bothers
it does.
you. Yes. So you're on a mission.
I'm on a mission.
You're on a mission.
Oh, hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Pastor,
Pastor,
talk to her.
I got you.
Talk to her, Pastor. Where can we go for more information?
Okay, so more information, you can go to the website, WOCPSEN.com. You can go to our Facebook page. You can email us at WOCPSEN@gmail.com. And I'm going to give you my personal mobile number, 510-586-9955. Now, you can come to the walk. It's going to be at Prospect Park. There's going to be one at Marcus Garvey. But this walk, what I want you to do is create a walk in your community. Contact me. I'll explain to you how to do that.
What number?
510-586-9955.
Loretta Green-Williams, give her a big round of applause, everybody. Founder, WOCPSCN.
Tyou very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
We've got to take a quick break right here, but stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Open next.
All right.